Right, we're at the end of the first terrace at Sunderland Point. This building here on the corner used to be the Ship Inn from early times, at the time Sunderland Point was part of the Port of Lancaster. And the little building next to it, the one we call Upsteps Cottage now, was the brew house for the pub. Looking towards second terrace, we can see just from the buildings there the history of Sunderland Point. About 300 years ago, most of the houses there were built as part of the Port of Lancaster. The main blocks of buildings there were warehouses. Perhaps 200 years or so ago, after Glassendock across the river had been opened, the shipping bypassed Sunderland Point, the warehouses were redundant, and after thin times, when the place became known as Cape Famine, someone converted one of the warehouses into a hotel, and people would come there and stay and take the saltwater cure. Hot and cold saltwater baths, and there was even a bathing machine for people who would actually bathe in the river. There's about 30 people live at Sunderland Point nowadays, and of the 30-something houses, almost all of them are in a line on the river frontage. Most of them were built as warehouses to be as close to where the ships were bringing the goods in. They're a bit vulnerable to tidal flooding. This is likely to get worse as time goes on with climate change and sea level rise. So the village has been giving a lot of thought to improving defences. In place of the homemade timber defences that we had, we've just recently had some assistance with a ministry grant to get some better defences in for front doors, and we're going to have to look to see how we can defend the lower windows and other places that are still vulnerable, and look at other places where water can get round the back of the houses. So this is something that we'll be thinking about a lot, and will give us probably increasingly concern in the years ahead. A year or so ago, the village set up a community association to try and help us coordinate our ideas and work out how we're going to be able to protect ourselves in the future, particularly thinking about the situation of erosion at the point end, how we can come up with a scheme that will meet with approval, and how we can find the funding to meet it, because it appears that public money would be available for that. So we're moving forward with that, and trying to investigate all sorts of ways that we can ensure the future of the community.
Sunderland Point is a well-known area for wildlife. Mainly the birds were frequented by many thousands of knot, for instance, in winter, returning to the winter quarters from Arctic Canada. Dunlin from Scotland and Scandinavia area. Skeins of pinkfoot geese coming back from, again, the high Arctic regions. It's a site that helps us to get through winter. It is still a best-kept secret in the birding world. I don't know why that is. Whether it's the tidal causeway that puts people off, I don't know. It is frequented, but not by as many as I would have thought. Those sort of people are more than welcome here for the love of the place and the love of the wildlife. Yeah, more than welcome.